Hey y'all, I woke up this morning to 71 subscribers. I was like, there's 71 people in this world that actually want to hear what I have to say. Miracles do happen. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and welcome to our YouTube family and to my channel. And there's some really awesome people on my page. Some of them have channels, so check them out. The only one troll I really did not want to have to block. I don't want to block anybody. I don't, but don't come on my channel and be mean, especially attacking my Christian faith. That's not cool. But anyway, I want to talk about my panic anxiety disorder. Why do I feel like somebody just clicked me off? I had a lot of abuse as a child. I mean, it was pretty bad. I was physically, mentally, and abused, and that affects you. It creates the person that you become. It's like a festering wound, you know? And that's what happened to me when I was 15 years old, when I had my first anxiety attack, or panic attack, which is basically the same thing. An anxiety attack is when things have slowly built up and then all of a sudden it just attacks you. A panic attack is the feeling like you're running for your life and there's no warning. It just slams you like a brick wall. You can't breathe, you're hyperventilating, clammy hands, your heart's beating so hard it hurts. And for myself, my mouth gets real dry and feels like somebody's choking me around my neck, and it's scary. And the first time I had my first panic attack, I was 15 years old. I remember I was babysitting my 1-year-old cousin, and my mom and dad went out to Kip's restaurant. I was up all night, and my mom ran a pretty tight household. She wanted everything very clean and orderly, and that's the way it had to be. I was trying to help, and I was trying to do laundry, even though I know I wasn't supposed to touch the washer and dryer out in the garage. I was still trying to help my mom, but I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, I was up all night, and I had already dropped out of school by this time, and I had absolutely no friends. None. I isolated myself. I dropped out of school because I was bullied. I was made fun of. And putting up with that, I was very overweight. And my nerves were up, and I didn't understand what was going on inside of me and what it was. I was building up to that first anxiety attack. And it took years. Well, anyway, my parents they went out to eat. I was babysitting my little cousin. I was up all night, and the next thing I know, I'm standing there with my 1-year-old cousin, and I couldn't breathe. I've never heard of an anxiety or panic, anything. And I was freaking out, totally freaking out. I mean, it was bad. And this was way before the days of cell phones, so I couldn't get a hold of my parents. I didn't know what was happening to me. The only thing I knew was I couldn't breathe, and I was running around the house like a banshee, and I didn't know what to do. I was dizzy, palms were sweaty, and I was scared to death, and my siblings weren't even there, and I didn't know what to do. This went on, I can't remember exactly, probably 20-30 minutes. My parents finally walked in. You know, by this time I was screaming and crying, and Daddy said, you know, baby girl, calm down. You're having a panic attack. I used to have them when I got back from Vietnam. And I went to my parents' bedroom and I laid down, and they called an ambulance. I could not catch my breath because I literally thought I was having a heart attack. And I couldn't calm down. The ambulance came out and confirmed what my daddy said. I was having an anxiety attack, and I went into the ER, and I don't think I went by ambulance. I think my parents took me. But I I was scared. I was freaking out. I didn't understand what was happening to me. So this led into the next couple years. These attacks would happen out of the blue. I'd go to the ER. I remember running into a hospital screaming, I can't breathe, I need oxygen. You know, I was 15, 16 years old. It was very scary. And my world got smaller and smaller. The attacks happened more frequently. I tried medication, I tried therapy. My parents were trying to do this and that, but there was a lot of problems at the house, and my parents, they're constantly fighting, and there was a lot of anxiety, and my siblings, they're younger than me, they couldn't do anything to help me. They didn't understand it. Not many people do unless you experience it. If you have a panic attack at a grocery store, you start avoiding that grocery store thinking it's a trigger. If you have a panic attack outside your home, anywhere, you get to the point you don't want to leave, and that's called agoraphobia. And I've always fought that, but here I am, 53 years old, and I still fight it. But over the years, like I said, your world gets smaller and smaller, and people don't understand it. They don't understand, you know, why you can't come over, or why can't you do this, you know. It's a two-way street, Terry. I remember my sister telling me that. You know where I live. This is when she lived in Texas. She didn't understand it wasn't a two-way street. It's a terrible feeling to live in constant fear. It's a very terrible feeling to live your whole freaking life in constant fear of the next attack. It's going to happen, and you're going to be stuck somewhere, and nobody can help you, and you're going to die. And as I grew older, it was like the anxiety was like its own little entity, just waiting, lurking in the shadows. And I made some bad choices in a spouse, and my daddy even said that he used to milk it because he would like to see me have panic attacks because it would make me dependent on him. Not very nice. People would laugh at you, poke fun at you, even your own family members. They didn't understand that what you have is not your fault. It's how your mind, I guess, reacted to years of abuse. And then, even in a relationship and as an adult, I was abused, both mentally and physically. By the grace of God, I'm still here to tell the tale. I still fight this. It's a terrible feeling living with a disorder. And then when I lost the house, after I got divorced, and I didn't want my marriage to end. I was in it to the cows come home, I was in it for the long haul. But it didn't work out. And it wasn't because of me, Didn't say I didn't make mistakes. I'm human. But I wanted my marriage to last. And then, when you have agoraphobia, the fear of leaving, it's hard. Especially when you don't have a home. And after 2013, I didn't have a home. I stayed with a family member for a while, but they lived too far out of town, and I was so latched on, and my anxiety, my safety zone, and it's hard to explain, but if you have what I have, you understand. It was way out of Pasadena, and this family member didn't understand that I appreciated his help, but I just couldn't drive. I kept having major anxiety attacks. Every time I'd get on that freeway, I would have to make marks like, okay, there's this big flag on the side of the freeway. I'm halfway there, Terry. You can do this. Come on, God, help me. So that didn't last very long. And then we lived in a rat hole place called the Bates Motel. It looked like from the movie Psycho. And my son got ate up with bed bugs. And I'm not able to hold a job. I tried to work for Valero. I think I lasted 3 or 4 months. And I couldn't do it. The anxiety, the panic, and it was affecting me mentally and physically. I would have to sit in a chair for hours after I got in. My son Brandon could tell you I'd be sitting there shaking, and this stuff is a nightmare. I tried to get help from the government a few times and got embarrassed in front of a judge, sitting there freaking out, having a panic attack, and I didn't care. And the doctor said he didn't understand why I didn't get the SSI. I should have. I've tried more than once, and I hope I'm not boring y'all, but I just wanted to explain to y'all, living with an anxiety disorder and panic disorder, it's real. That's why those of y'all have been following me for a while, this channel is really, really helping me. It's helping me cope. I don't feel so alone. And it helps me be the goofball that I am with these skits. But you know, there's people in this world that suffer with mental illness. You know, don't make fun of them. I have been laughed at. I have heard so many times, it's all in your head, Terry. You know what? You're very bright, because it is all in my head. You sit there and you start hyperventilating. And yes, over the years I have learned some coping mechanisms. But sometimes it doesn't work. But I face my fear. I don't give in to it. That's the thing. You don't give in. You fight it. Because people with this stuff, this demon, we're strong. We're not weak. Because the average person could not handle this. But we all have crosses we bear. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I have a panic anxiety disorder, and my name is Terry, and I'm a child of God, and I am a warrior. I am a fighter, and I'm not giving up. But if you suffer with this, just know you're not alone. And if you know somebody that suffers with this, be a little bit more compassionate and understanding. There's a difference. I'm not going to name names, but I have a family member saying, I'm not babying you. We don't want babied. We just need somebody sometimes just to listen. Just to hold our hand and say, hey, breathe. And in my case, you know, get me a pail of water or ice water where I can put my big old feet in it and get my mind off the panic attack. That's one of the things. Get your mind off the attack. I don't care how silly it might be, like putting your feet in love pans filled with ice and water. Do what you gotta do. Medication doesn't work for me. I do have a mild nerve pill. Take as needed. But like my doctor said, Terry, you're the only person I've ever had to tell, take more medication. Antidepressants don't work for me. The only thing that makes me depressed is struggling, family, and loneliness. But I just don't get depressed without a reason. But I wanted to thank all of y'all, and share a bit of what I go through with this stuff. It's not easy, and now that I'm getting older, it really, it drains me. And my body is reacting to years and years of stress, and I hurt a lot, and I don't want to get a pity party going, but I'm just wanted to share with y'all. If you suffer with a panic anxiety disorder or have ever had a panic attack, comment below. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We are who we are. God's got this, we got this. Okay, this thing's long enough. But I just wanted to say thank y'all for being a part of my world. Have a blessed day. Keep on keeping on. Subscribe. I don't know what kind of videos. It's why I'm carrying circles. My videos are going to be all over the map. I can't focus on one thing. That's not who I am. I know I've watched these how to make YouTube videos. I can't focus on one thing. I have issues. God bless y'all and keep on keeping on. And thanks for listening. And whatever you're facing in your life, don't give up. It'll be okay.